Jimmy, good to have you back on. Was Jeter the first to wear the Air Jordan?
That is correct. Jeter was the first, and I think it was followed by Andrew. And they had a domination on Brand Jordan. No one else can really get in. And then they finally opened up the floodgates and let myself in. CC, I think we both came in around 08, 09, around that time. And then now it is a brand in baseball, and it was a fun run to be with those guys.
What was it like first time you met Jordan?
You know how they say when you meet someone and you're in awe, and I've met a number of people and you don't really get that. It happened a couple of times. The first time I met Jay Z, the first time you met Mike, but Mike breaks through that ice, like he's Michael, and it's like, do I say something? He talks trash. You hear all the stories. So the first time I ran into him, I just went up to him like, Mike, what's happening? I didn't get I didn't get my contract this year. He looked at me. It's like, oh, you didn't get the memo. All right, bet we'll make it happen. 2 years later, I run into him again. Like, Mike, I still don't have my cleats. Next year, I was in them.
Al, Allen Iverson said when he was around Jordan, Jordan has a glow about him.
Yes, I agree. And,
But
and it's hard to explain because do you physically see it? No. But there is an aura and an energy about him. And it's almost like if you get too close, you're stepping into his energy. So you let there be that personal space. But but the more you hang around him, you see him, you understand he's just a guy. He loves to have fun. He's serious about his business, and obviously we know how serious he is about his golf. But when you're in his presence, be ready to talk trash. Be ready to be able to give it back because he likes that jabbering back and forth, and it's almost like he's still in uniform, but his uniform has just changed.
who's the Jordan in baseball? Or who
Who
was the Jordan in baseball?
was the Jordan? I mean, we can say who is. I mean, that's Shohei. Shohei is the Jordan in baseball, as we saw last year. When he wasn't pitching, he said, okay, I can let me go out and do a 50-50 campaign. And he went out and did that. Prior to that, he's winning MVPs. He's a Cy Young candidate if you really want to put him, on the mound all the time. It's almost he can be whoever he wants when he wants. And we saw that with Mike when he was playing. When it was time to turn up the defense, he would lock you down, but he was still going out there scoring 28, 29, averaging um, and plus. So when it comes to winning, Shohei has a lot more to do, but he's definitely on the right track. He has a team, and he's going to be the guy that leads that team. Mike led the Bulls. He did it for 3 straight seasons, took some years off, then go play minor league baseball, came back and won 3 more. That's the impact that Shohei has. He sells jerseys. He moves. He moves ticket prices. Season ticket holders will for sure uh, repurchase those tickets as long as he's on that team. And just what he's done for the game, expanded it globally the way Mike did for basketball. It's crazy to see.
Did you make fun of Michael's baseball abilities when you're around him?
You know what? I did not because I understand how difficult it was. And it was admirable that he went back to try to go do something that he loved as a child. Now, did he have the best swing? No. But I don't think it was about that for Mike. Did he have the best defense? No. I don't think it was about that for Mike. I think it was about attempting something that he had put aside for something that he was successful in to prove that he could also do it, not just on the basketball court, but on the baseball field. Now, did it happen? No. Was it great for the kids that got to play with him? I think so. They got to hang with the legend. They got to get on a customized bus because those bus rides in between minor league cities, they can be something. But being able to step away, and I think he had to prove something to himself that he can do anything that he put his mind to, even if it's not the level that he wanted to achieve. Going out there, putting yourself out there, being vulnerable, um, is something that if you're someone that wants to try something, he's a great example. You don't have to be the best. If you try, anything can happen.
He's Jimmy Rollins. He's working with TBS, covering the NLDS. He's got Brewers, Cubs, and then it'll be the Phillies at the Dodgers. Everybody throws 100 now.
Right.
Nobody's worried about striking out. Like, you played in an era where that walk of shame back to the dugout, it hurt. But these
Oh
guys
yes.
now, it's like, hey, I got my cuts, man. So what if I struck out?
My rookie year, I want to say I struck out 110 or 15 times. When I got the spring training the next year, John Vukovic came up to me and was like, we got to work on this. There's no way in the world you with your skills should strike out 100 times ever. And that became my mission, to not strike out 100 times, because it was embarrassing. Like I said, that walk of shame, we understand striking out is part of the game. But as a leadoff hitter, my job is to put the ball in play, make something happen, use my speed, as they would like to say. And that's something I can argue against. But in today's game, they want you to get your A swing off 12 to 15 times a game. And they figure, with the analytics, that if you're getting your A swing off and you're doing this 12 to 15 times a game, that's going to correlate to 30 to 40 home runs. With runners on, how many more runs are you driving in, et cetera. But it's almost like they don't account for how many at bats you don't hit a home run. If you hit 50 home runs, Shohei's done. You hit 60, Barry's hit 73. There's still 300, 400 at bats that you're not hitting a home run. And if those 300, 400 bats you don't hit a home run, you strike out 150 of them, that's not good. That's not productive at all. But that's the way the game has come to be, at least in the regular season. Because we're seeing in the postseason that strategy doesn't work. You have to
Yeah.
apply pressure. You have to consistently get guys on base, get the pitcher in a stretch. For numbers, for getting contracts, this is how they're going to evaluate. But to win a championship, you have to have other parts of the game. And when you get to the playoffs, you're not all of a sudden going to change who you are.
Why are the Phillies in trouble?
They're not hitting. They're simply not hitting. I think their pitching has been good. They're a team that definitely relies on big swings, big moments. Schwarber had a great season chasing Ryan Howard's home run record. Um, Harper, big swing Harper. Trey Turner, who unfortunately got injured at the end, so he's kind of out of rhythm. But they're guys that rely literally on the big swing, and they can play a different style of baseball. We've seen it at times, but their game is built around that 3-run home run. And when you're facing pitching like the Dodgers have, that's not going to happen too often. Yes, you're going to face guys and they're going to have an off day, but in the playoffs, you assume that everybody's going to be sharp. And Dodger pitching has been sharp, especially the starters. I mean, 2 games and we're getting into the fifth and sixth inning before we even get a runner on base. That's pretty tough to win ball games.
Take me into that home run at bat by Aaron Judge last night, because it
Oh man,
seemed like they did exactly what they wanted to do, and that
yes,
pitch is a pitch where you want to put it. I think I was
it was.
amazed by it.
Yeah, it was a two-strike pitch that almost hit him in his chest, you know. And for him to keep that ball fair, there are a few guys that I've played against that can do that. There were power hitters. One was Barry, the other was Chef. You can never bring the ball in far enough because they know how to bring their hands inside the ball, and they're strong enough that if they get the barrel to it, obviously it's going to go a long ways. But thinking about it, and last night and watching it, I was over at Pedro's house. We were on the lake hanging out and came back to watch the rest of the game. I was glad to see him have his moment. We know the struggles that he's had, not getting that big home run in the big moments, but they had him where he wanted to. You threw a fastball for strike two, up out over the plate. You see a swing underneath it, and you're saying, yes, this is what we want. He's swinging underneath the ball, elevated. But I think what pitchers, and I'm not on the mound, but just looking at it, what is a high fastball to Aaron Judge? Is different to someone else. You throw a chest high to me, throw a chest high to Curtis Granderson or a guy even 6'3". That's a good pitch. But the Aaron Judge at 6'7", that ends up belt high. So as a pitcher, how do you say to yourself, I have to throw it basically head high to him, which would, if the catcher doesn't get it, it's a pass ball off the net. It's a different thing, but to see him have that moment, knowing that he hasn't had that moment, to keep it fair, I think he can finally take that deep breath. And you saw after the home run, he gave to the camera and he gave it a double look. Like, is this what you were asking for? He answered that bell. So it was a great moment for him. And hopefully, he can get those demons out the way.
Okay, let me go back to you were at Pedro Martinez's house. You said
Yes,
last night.
yes, yes.
Okay, is it like of all the baller houses you've been in? Like, what's the most baller house that you've ever been in?
Wow. The most baller house I've ever been in. I would, I would honestly have to give it to Ryan Howard. His house that he had down in the Indian Rocks area that was on a beach, bowling alley, a pool, a lagoon, a lazy river. It was, I think the main house was, shoot, the main house may have been 20,000 square feet, and the guest house was 8,000. And it was a hallway, it was just everything you can imagine. It was in that house, and it was on the beach. Like it was on. You stepped out, you see turtles nesting. You had the speed boats coming by doing TMZ down in Clearwater Beach. That was probably the craziest. And you walk in, and Ryan's a big guy. So everything he had was big, and you walk in, and it's 30-foot high ceilings, and I'm only 5'7", so I felt like a really small person walking in that house.
I bring this up a lot with my guys that there's certain sounds in sports. You know, it could be the ball going in a cup if you're playing golf, or the net when Steph Curry hits a
Yeah,
shot. When the ball leaves Otani's bat, it sounds different than anybody else. And as a guy, who out there at shortstop, you're not very far from the pitcher, and the pitcher knows there's certain sounds like, damn, I just gave up a home run. Can you remember, like, who had that sound where you go, that's gone?
uh, there are a few guys. I played with one, Ryan Howard. I played against one, Barry, Chef, Chipper, and it's hard to explain and describe the sound, but when you hear it, you know it. It's loud. It's an explosion. You can hear the bat compressing the core center of the ball, and people used to laugh at me, especially my teammates. Ryan, I'm an infielder. There's a velocity and a trajectory that the ball goes over my head that there's no doubt that it's gone. I'm watching the hitter. I want to see what they're doing. And then right before the ball, is caught or goes into the stands, I kind of give it a look. But there are a couple of times that I had to take the exception because I wanted to watch the whole flight of the ball. And one was when Barry hit the ball off the McDonald's sign in right center field, and John Lieber's pitching. So before the game, Lieber comes in. He's like, "Hey, if Barry gets up and nobody on, I'm just going to get it over with." And so we're all like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I'm not going to waste any pitches on Barry. Every time I face him, he hits a home run. So if there's nobody on, I'm throwing a fastball right down the middle, get it over with." And so we all kind of look at each other like, "There's no way. I hear you, but there's no way you're going to do that. No one's whatever, John." So get the first batter out, get the second batter out. And so I look at Chase, I look at Ryan. I forget who's at third. It may have been Pedro. No, maybe Pedro Fleas or Placido Blanco. We all kind of look at each other like, is this really going to happen? We shift over, first pitch, plop, pow. And I just turn over my head, and it hit the McDonald's sign. That was the only thing that kept it from leaving the entire ballpark. And don't get me wrong, it was amazing. I was surprised that he actually did. And we all looked at each other like, this dude got some big cojones. He said, I'm going to throw him a fastball, get it over with. And he did. And Barry did what he was supposed to do. So there are a couple guys that made that sound, but that one in particular, that was one of the most amazing things that John lived up to his word, and Barry hit it off the McDonald's sign.
I was always amazed with Bonds that he might get one pitch per at bat. Might
Yes.
get one pitch per at bat. But he could make you pay with that. And his strike zone, so he never went out of this. Like he knew that he had like a bread box, maybe a
Hmm.
microwave. It wasn't very large there, but if you're in there, I'm gonna make you pay. And I still marvel at that ability to be patient and not go, fishing and pressing for this. Judge is doing this now. He's really got that strike zone compact, and that's when you see these guys go from good to great to Hall of Famer. But Bonds would
No
get
doubt
one
about it.
pitch, maybe.
No doubt about it. And as you said, that was the amazing thing, that he wasn't striking out. He was patient enough to take the walk. The times that they would pitch to him, and the number of times that he wouldn't even get a chance to swing. Nobody on tie game, Barry comes up, intentional walk. He wasn't even getting a chance to swing the bat. So the times that he did, the proficiency of what he did, it was crazy. Even the year he hit 73, I think he had 130 intentional walks. There's no doubt in my mind he hits 100 home runs. Like it's
Yes.
it's that crazy, and I mean it is, if they pitch to him the way they pitch these guys now, and it's almost like analytics say, we know how to get you out. Analytics then, I think they would have had to say, we understand that, but the human element says this pitcher's not going to execute that pitch. And if we don't, that robot in the box, he's going to make sure it's 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, or a grand slam. And that's how crazy Barry Bonds is. And everybody compares, who's the GOAT, and they want to look at Judge's numbers, look at Shohei's numbers, and then when you put them next to Barry's, it's a different story. And I know kids didn't grow up watching Barry; they're watching these guys now. But for us that were fortunate enough to play with, against, and watch Barry, it was unworldly.
But even with the performance-enhancing drugs, he still. If we leveled the playing field, Jimmy, and I said everybody can use whatever they want to use,
Mm-hmm.
he would have. And you got to pitch to him. It's like Lance Armstrong in the Tour de France. It felt like everybody else was cheating in the Tour de France. He was just that much better than everybody. And Bonds, you can put an asterisk by it, but he still had to hit that ball. And he got one pitch. I mean,
100%.
Still amazing. He would have hit 100 home runs. But one year he got walked over 230 times.
I can't imagine that.
It's amazing. And I can't imagine.
But the thing is, guys are striking out 230 times now. And he was getting walked 230 times.
I know. Hey, great job so far during the postseason. Hope you're enjoying it, and we appreciate your time, Jimmy.
No, I appreciate it, DP.